Hi, I'm Daninyong Helatabawan, a third-year student of Bachelor in Science in Marine Engineering at Northwestern University. Previously, I discussed about Annex 1 and Annex 2, Annex 3, and Annex 4 of MARPOL. And in this video, I'm going to discuss about Annex 5 and Annex 6 of MARPOL. MARPOL Annex 5, Prevention of Pollution by Garbage from Ships. Annex 5 of the MARPOL Convention aims to eliminate and reduce the amount of garbage being dumped into the sea from ships. Its terms include all kinds of food, domestic and operational waste that are likely to be disposed of during the normal operation of the ship. Disposal of all garbage into the sea from ships is prohibited except in some limited circumstances. Under MARPOL Annex 5, garbage includes all kinds of food waste, domestic waste, and operational waste, all plastics, cargo residues, and incinerator ashes, cooking oil, fishing gear, and animal carcasses generated during the normal operation of the ship. While the vessel is en route, food waste that have been comminuted or ground and capable of passing through a screen with openings no greater than 12 mm can only be discharged 3 nautical miles or more from the nearest land. Amendments to Annex 5 were adopted by the resolution NEPC.201, which entered into force on the 1st January 2013. The revised Annex 5 prohibits the discharge of all garbage into the sea, except as provided otherwise. For example, Annex 5 totally prohibits of the disposal of plastic anywhere into the sea and severely restricts discharges of other garbage from ships into coastal waters and special areas. Special areas under MARPOL Annex 5 are the Mediterranean, Baltic, Black, Red, and North Seas areas and the Gulf area. Cargo residues may be left over after recovery using commonly available unloading methods. Cargo residues classified as harmful to the marine environment and cannot be discharged into the sea, except under very limited circumstances. Such waste must be discharged to an onshore waste reception facility. Cargo residues not classified as HME can be discharged into the sea, provided that the ship is en route and the discharge occurs as far as practicable from the nearest land, but not less than 12 nautical miles from the nearest land. Cargo residues of solid bulk substances are classified as HME according to the criteria of the United Nations globally harmonized system for classification and labeling of chemicals, 4th revised edition 2011. The classification and declaration of solid bulk cargoes other than grain as HME will be mandatory from the 1st of March 2018. More information can be found at Managing Solid Bulk Cargo Residues in Australian waters. Cleaning agents or additives contained in cargo hold, deck, and external surfaces wash water and be discharged into the sea, provided that they are not classified as HME. For cleaning agents and additives, HME substances are those that are identified as marine pollutants in the International Maritime Dangerous Goods Code, or which meet the area in the appendix of MARPOL Annex 3 harmful substances. These criteria are provided in the 2012 guidelines. Animal carcasses. Animal carcasses may only be discharged into the sea when the ship is not in MARPOL designed special area. The ship is en route and the discharge is far as possible from the nearest land. The carcass has been slit or cut so that its thoracic and abdominal cavities are open and or pass through a communitor, grinder, auger, mincer, or similar equipment, and the discharge is undertaken in accordance with Section 2.12 of the 2012 guidelines. Mixed garbage: when different types of garbage are mixed together or contaminated by other substances are prohibited from discharge. The more stringent discharge requirements will apply. Exceptions: the following situations provided the waste discharge exception under MARPOL Annex V. General garbage: the discharge of garbage from a ship is necessary to secure the safety of a ship and those on board, for saving a life at sea. The accidental loss of garbage resulting from damage to a ship or its equipment, provided that all reasonable precautions have been taken before and after the occurrence of the damage to prevent or minimize the accidental loss. It is recommended that local, state, and port authorities are consulted on any local regulation that may apply in specific circumstances. Garbage management: MARPOL Annex V requires that ships manage and record waste generated on board the ship, including discharges. Garbage management plans under MARPOL Annex V: every ship of 100 gross tonnage and above, and every ship certified to carry 15 or more persons are required to carry a garbage management plan. The garbage management plan contains procedures for collecting, storing, processing, and the discharge of garbage, including the use of equipment on board. Garbage record books under MARPOL Annex V: every ship of 400 gross tonnage and above, and every ship certified to carry 15 or more persons engaged in international voyages is required to maintain and detain on board the ship a garbage record book. See Marine Notice 2017-03. MARPOL Annex VI Regulation for the Prevention of Air Pollution from Ships. Although air pollution from ships does not have the direct cause and effect associated with, for example, an oil spill incident, it causes a cumulative effect that contributes to the overall air quality problems encountered by population in many years, and also affects the national environment, such as tough acid rain. MARPOL Annex VI, first adopted in 1997, limits the main air pollutants contained in ships, exhaust gas including sulfur oxides and nitrous oxides, and prohibits deliberate emissions of ozone-depleting substances. MARPOL Annex VI also regulates shipboard incineration and the emissions of volatile organic compounds from tankers. Following entry into force of MARPOL Annex VI on 19th of May 2005, the Marine Environment Protection Committee at its 53rd session, July 2005, agreed to revise MARPOL Annex VI with the aim of significantly strengthening the emission limits in light of technological improvements and implementations experience. As a result of 3 years examination, MEPC 58 October 2008 adopted the revised MARPOL Annex VI and the associated NOx Technical Code 2008, which entered into force on the 1st of July 2010. Revised MARPOL Annex VI. The main changes to MARPOL Annex VI are progressive reduction globally in emissions of SOx, NOx, and particulate matter, and the introduction of emission control areas to reduce emissions of those air pollutants under in designated sea areas. Under the revised MARPOL Annex VI, the global sulfur limit will be reduced from current 3.50% to 0.50%, effective from the 1st of January 2020, subject to a feasibility review to be completed no later than 2018. MEPC 70 October 2016 considered an assessment of fuel oil availability to inform the decision to be taken from the parties to MARPOL Annex VI, and decided that the fuel oil standard 0.50% sulfur limit shall be effective on the 1st of January 2020. The limits applicable in ECA S for SOx and particulate matter were reduced to 0.10% from the 1st of January 2015. Progressive reduction in NOx emission from marine diesel engines installed in ships are also included, with a Tier 2 emission limit for engines installed on ship constructed on or after the 1st of January 2011, and more stringent Tier 3 emission limits for engines installed on ship constructed on or the 1st after the 1st January 2016 operating in EEAS North American Emission Control Area under the U.S. Caribbean Sea Emission Control Area. Marine diesel engines installed on ship constructed on after 1st of January 1990 but prior to the 1st of January 2000 are required to comply with Tier 1 emission limits. This unapproved method for the engine has been certified by an administration. The revised NOx Technical Code 2008 includes a new chapter based on the agreed approach for regulation of existing pre-2000 engines established in MARPOL Annex VI, revision of direct measurement and monitoring method, certification procedure for existing engines, and test cycles to be applied to Tier 2 and Tier 3 engines. MEPC 66 April 2014 adopted amendments to Regulation 13 of MARPOL Annex VI regarding to the effective date of NOx Tier 3 standards. The amendments provide for the Tier 3 NOx standards to be applied to a marine diesel engine that is installed on ship constructed on or after the 1st of January 2016 and which operates in the North American Emission Control Area or the U.S. Caribbean Sea Emission Control Area that are designated for the control of NOx emissions. In addition, the Tier 3 requirements would apply to installed marine diesel engines when operated in other emission control areas which might be designated in the future for Tier 3 NOx control. Tier 3 would apply to ships constructed on or after the date of adoption by the Marine Environment Protection Committee of such an emission control area, or a later date as may be specified in the amendment designated the NOx Tier 3 emission control area. Further, the Tier 3 requirements do not apply to a marine diesel engine installed on a ship constructed prior to the 1st of January 2021 or of less than 500 gross tonnage of 24 meter or over in length, which has been specifically designed and is used solely for recreational purposes. Revisions to the regulation for ozone depleting substances, volatile organic compounds, shipboard incineration, reception facilities and fuel oil quality were also made, with regulation on fuel oil availability added. The revised measures are expected to have a significant beneficial impact to the atmospheric environment and on human health, particularly for those people living in port cities and coastal communities. Annex 6 regulation for the prevention of air pollution from ships establish certain sulfur oxide or XOX emission control areas with more stringent controls on sulfur emissions and nitrogen oxides and OX emission control areas for Tier 3 NOx emission standards. These are the special areas under MARPOL Annex 6.